Hello, once again, thank you for joining me here on the Lack of Interesting Conversation with me, your host, Trey Mendenhall. Welcome back. I know it's been like a week or two since the last uploaded, but as I said before, we will be a little bit more sporadic as it is a very busy time for me and my family. So, anyway, you can find us on YouTube. Just search up the Lack of Interesting Conversation. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, pointing because that should be where the um, subscribe thing pops up. Subscribe, um, hit the notification bell, and comment, share, uh, like our video, comment on our video. That'd be great. Uh, just here, kind of talk about a little bit just about stuff today. As you know, I said I would review Madden 27. Um, I'm still working on that, but what so far so good. I'm enjoying it, but I do gotta say, after my first year in franchise mode, I personally did not. Uh, I guess I wanted to return back to college football, which I did. So I'm actually kind of having a little bit more fun in that game right now. Although I do, um, I guess personally, sometimes it's hard to not throw picks. I'd like some help with that. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but maybe it's just because I'm at a smaller school playing a bigger school. Um, even though I just won a national title and we're in the Big 12 at Cincinnati. We'll see. But also today is Friday. From at least most of us, like here in Ohio, um, Friday night, the return of Friday Night Lights, the return of high school football. I know last night on ESPN, they broadcast Brentwood Academy versus Baylor school. They're in Tennessee because Baylor is not only is Peyton Manning's son the one of the backup quarterbacks there. Fresh off his commitment to the University of Tennessee, he had himself a game, had some monster plays. I remember the one he kind of like flipped in midair and landed when his feet kept going. Had a monster day. Yesterday, I think he finished 172 uh, yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 78 receiving yards. Monster day, obviously, especially when you're that talented in high school, tends to stick out. But these schools, um, that the school that he goes to, Baylor School, it's a lot of uh, top um, top one of the top schools in the state of Tennessee, which is pretty cool. Um, but it's honestly just awesome to have football back. And speaking of Tennessee, yesterday they actually unveiled their brand new smoky gray uniforms. They are having this year with Adidas. It's the first smoky gray Adidas uniform since probably 2013, maybe. I don't know. I can't exactly remember that, but personally, I think these are the best. And during their press release, which I'll read here, the 2026 football season marks a century of General Robert Neyland's first campaign as a head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee Athletics and Adidas have collaborated on a smoky gray alternate uniform that pays homage um, to an incredible legacy on Rocky Top. Design blends elements from Neyland's head coaching career. The Tennessee uniforms span from his tenure from 1926 to 1952. It pulls features from multiple eras, embodying Neyland's impact from his military background to his tactical, tactical on-field inspirational contribute contributions. And I know these will actually be available for purchase, the entire Smoky Gray collection, including the jerseys, September 1st, which personally I would love to have these. I love them. The helmet, I know the helmet's different this year. This is actually the first um, helmet not to feature the Power T that Tennessee is known for since 1963, I believe. You got the helmet is described invoking the leather helmets worn by the Vols From the program's inception to 1949, the cross pattern and stitching details are pulled. The 1938 National Championship helmet, the year the ball is held opponents to a combined 16 points over 11 games. Talk about complete dominance. Jeez, that's video game numbers. Heck, and I can't even do. I guess in my dynasties on 20 college football 26, I may have come close to that, but insane still. Uh, including and in that year they included 8 shutouts en route to the program's first as the very that year was the first ever national title in football for the University of Tennessee. A bold star appears on the back of the helmet as a nod to Neyland's status as uh, as a general. Uh, Neyland's signature appears on the back bumper, which is basically like that little uh, shiny plastic part on the back of the helmet, uh, and then on the bumper, the front bumper, where like that little flat, like shiny foam part right here on the helmet, right above the face mask. Uh, U is a stenciled UT, like worn on the Neyland era practice gear, appears on the front, which would be cool. It's got a patch on the on the left shoulder, which basically is Neyland's signature pose. It's the way he's posed on his statue is posed outside of Neyland Stadium. Uh, then on the shoulder blueprints, you have the legendary coach in the Army Corps of Engineers using his knowledge and vision to help grow Shields Watkins Field into a cathedral of college football. The shoulder features blueprints from the 1948 expansion belt that belt out from the south end of the venue, architectural details that remain visible in the oldest parts of Neyland Stadium today, which are pretty cool. Then the features. If you're a Tennessee baseball fan, um, with the dark mode of previous years, usually on the hat they have that interlocking U and T logo, which they have here, but they are using one from a picture in 1952 that General Neyland uh, wore a baseball inspired uh, like a UT interlocking UT on a hat, but you never saw it. But this is a different take on it, which is pretty cool in my opinion, because like with the way the T, the ends of the T and the tops of the U, they kind of with the old school Adidas logos being like using like you go at the middle, then you go like that and that. It kind of matches with the old Adidas logo, which I think is personally cool, but also it kind of throws back to when General Neyland played baseball back in Army. He was dominant. He was an outstanding pitcher. He played first base from 1913 to 1916. He was 35 and 5 on the mound during his entire tenure there in Army as he played baseball. Had a .875 winning percentage, which is still holds he still holds second place in terms of our the his I guess with that his winning percentage in Army history, which is awesome. Obviously, the jerseys are gray, but the pants they do have the interlocking UT on the right hip, but the pants are cream. Um, so a little history about that is while UT adopted orange and white, the classic orange and white, which everybody knows that's if you see that orange, specifically the Tennessee orange, hey, that belongs to the Tennessee Volunteers. If you're a sports fan, a college football fan, anything like that, uh, they adopted those in 1891, and wasn't until 1930s, the late 1930s, that officially took over as the main uh, color combination for the University of Tennessee. Until then, Tennessee wore a mix of orange, white, gray, black, and tan. tan doesn't make any sense, but the gray and the black obviously awesome. And just like dark mode when that returned, awesome. Love dark mode. Um, then in his first, then the cream is a nod is to those early era tan leather helmets, football pants, which um, I guess going back to the helmet, it's I guess really since um, Illinois debuted those their throwbacks with the brown uh, um, with their helmet painted up like an old school leather uh, early football years leather helmet. Um, Seeing how incredible that looked, that they were able to finally get that right. I know a lot of teams have uh, kind of adopted that or chased that formula. I think even to the point where I believe Green Bay, the Packers in the NFL, um, had a helmet like that with their throwbacks here recently. But obviously, this version is gray with the orange stripe down the middle and down the side, and the bronze and the star in the back pointing towards uh, General Nealon's time in the military. Then another nod is to the number font on the jersey is the same number font and sizing that was used on the 1938 and 1939 teams, which is pretty cool. And inside on the color there, I know on the dark mode, the orange and the home and away jerseys, they have um, I will give my all. But um, here it says carry the fight, as that was one of General Nealon's sayings, which in his handwriting, which is cool. The same way on the back bumper, where it says Nealon, it's in his handwriting, which is cool. And I know Tennessee will actually wear these um, October 3rd against Auburn at home, which is pretty cool, to be honest. Also, kind of shocking that they would choose Auburn to do that. I know it was an old school Tennessee rivalry, but usually you don't get rivalry games where these teams are wearing alternate uniforms, or I guess, or someone has introduced a new ultimate uniform. Usually you want to go out, you want to win in these uniforms. So you want to play maybe like a game. Hey, we know we're going to win this, so let's go and wear it here so we can get a W in these uniforms. Um, but um, we'll see where it goes. I'll talk about that more. What I think about Tennessee's chances this year in my Tennessee football preview coming up here soon, and also give up my CFP predictions, as this might be the last year of the 12-team playoff, which is a massive mistake. Uh, but anyway, um, I I mean this isn't going to be a long one today, but I guess before we go, um, I guess I kind of wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. I didn't know besides the Tennessee and the CFP predictions. I know we're going to get ready to do a NFL um, predictions slash preview for the upcoming NFL season two. I may have a couple guests on. I'm not 100% sure about that. Still working out the details, but that should be fun. But before we go, I feel like it's been a while since I did a dedicated podcast about specifically just straight up talking about Jesus and God and what maybe He's done in my life. But um, I guess I felt led to maybe share a miracle in which God performed in me. I remember at one point I dealt with Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy, if you didn't know, uh, I guess the one I can best describe it how I felt when I had Bell's palsy is like the one side of my face felt completely numb, um, but the specific definition is a medical condition that causes sudden temporary weakness or paralysis of the muscles on one side. So basically, what I said. Um, I don't know too many people who've dealt with it. I know I had a cousin, but I guess the most famous, well-known person I personally know to have had it was Jim Ross, good old JR. If you were a fan of wrestling in the 90s, he was the soundtrack to the WWF at the time. Now WWE, even though he doesn't work there anymore, I know he currently does. I think he still does some stuff with AEW, but I know like for the first couple years he did. Um, then I know he's just recently gone through some health scares and recently had brain surgery. Just keep, I guess, just keep, if you feel led to, I guess, just pray for JR and pray that he would know Jesus. But anyway, how this kind of all happened, where I remember being in eighth grade at the time. I remember a lot of us, we were all huddled out on this big, huge grass field in outside of middle school. It was a cold day. I think it was for recess, but I remember everybody was kind of, we had this big, huge red ball, kind of just kicking it around, and the one, um, someone kicked it, and I know it ended up hitting the right side of my face, uh, and I guess never thought about it. Then I think I ended up having like a doctor's appointment either that day, later that day, or maybe like the following day. I'm not 100% sure. And I kept telling my mom about that, and I felt like that, and the doctor checked it, and that's when I was diagnosed with it. Um, I know at one point, because of that, I kind of had to wear a eye patch on the left eye, because there was a lot of gunk being built up in there because of that. But um, I remember going to the doctor and doing a lot of things to try and fix it and everything. But I guess one thing was, when I know this would be either in 2005 or yeah, no, 2005, I think it was, with being, I guess, the last vacation I had ever taken with my family. Um, I've been on vacations, but due to circumstances, uh, after that, this kind of ended up being the last one. But we did, and I remember we went to visit a friend, a pastor friend that my family knew, and kind of talked. And I remember uh, kind of just huddling around, and I don't even know if I knew what to think, but I did. I think I probably did believe God could heal me, but I wasn't 100% sure. Uh, but I guess the also to describe Bell's palsy, it kind of looks like you have had a stroke or something, because the one side of your face can kind of look like it droops or something like that. I do remember that. I do remember getting made fun of because of that, but there's nothing I could do, obviously. But I just remember when we still at, like towards the end of the visit with Pastor Michael Hubry, who has since gone on to be with the Lord. Um, remember just all of us gathering, making a big circle, and uh, got holding each other's hand, and he would just pray that God would move on me and uh, do a work in me, which he did, uh, which is incredible. And since then, I'm so thankful that I uh, have not had an issue with that since, which is awesome. I know um, if I know that it can be weighing, it can be embarrassing, especially at the age in which I got it, especially being in school. Um, you easily get made fun of, and maybe you're like me, you didn't want to talk about it with anybody, felt embarrassed with it or anything like that. But God still, I guess, honored that request, and still um, moved and created, made a miracle, created a miracle for me, and healed my face and restored it, and which is incredible, to be honest. It's I'm so thankful for that, and just like it is honest, just a reminder of like lepers Jesus healed, the blind people that Jesus is healed in his word. That like the one time where he spit in mud and rubbed the dirt and made mud and rubbed it on this guy's eye, and uh, when he opened his eye, he could finally see. Or like the one dealing with the issue of blood, who just had all she had to do was reach out and touch his garment, touch his clothing, and healing came out of him and knew, and she was automatically made heal. Or like when uh, the one lame guy whose friends literally ripped open the roof, where Jesus was preaching, just to let him down through the roof so he could hear hear Jesus, and so he might get a chance to be able to see him and maybe be even healed, which he ended up doing, which ticked the Pharisees off. I just told him, "Hey, take up your bed and walk," and which he did. Or like the guy at the pool of Bethesda who had sat there for, I believe, 37 years, I think it was. Um, but and he healed him, and he got up and took his bed up and walked too. Just there's this, I guess, to me, it's just a reminder that there's nothing too big, too small, nothing too that we feel is too insignificant that we can't bring to God, that God cannot heal us from, that can make not turn it into something new. Uh, it's just incredible what He can do. If you have a story like that, if you have, uh, I guess, a miracle, if you feel like you want to share a miracle in the comments of this, just go ahead and reach out. I would love to hear that. Your miracle, as honestly, that by His stripes we are healed. Isaiah 53:5 and Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and not just the good things, but the bad things, the tough things, the sad things, the hard things. No matter what it is, you can do all things because of Him. Greater is He who is in me than he who is in the world. So, anyway, I just um, thank you for joining me for this short time. Just wanted to get something out. So I'll see you next time. The lack of interesting conversation.